Winston Churchill once famously said, "For a nation to try to tax itself into prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle." It's a funny mental image, isn't it? But it captures a trap that we often fall into. It feels very natural to think that simply taxing the wealthy is the obvious way to fix our problems. However, today I want to explore why that approach might actually be what's keeping the bucket and our economy stuck on the ground. Now you might be thinking, I'm a university student, I'm not in the top income bracket yet, but you are all training to be professional engineers, leaders and innovators. Therefore, it is vital that you understand how tax policies will impact your financial planning and career motivation. Greetings everyone. My name is Noah John Frankie, and over the past few weeks I have researched various economic journals and analyzed comparisons between progressive and flat tax systems to understand the real-world consequences of these policies beyond the headlines. Therefore, today I am here to urge you that we should look towards a system where everyone contributes the same percentage. To support this, I will guide you through three main areas today. Firstly, we will take a look at the ethical argument of why penalizing success is unfair. Secondly, we will examine how high taxes reduce the incentive to invest and work hard. And third, I will briefly introduce why a flat tax system serves as a superior alternative. Let's start by looking at the problem with the current system. The first major issue is that the progressive tax system unfairly burdens successful individuals. According to a 2025 analysis by Julia Kagan, critics argue that this system serves as an incentive to success, essentially punishing the wealthy and even the middle class. Think about it in terms of your own future work. As noted by economist Tejban Fedinger, if higher taxes lead to lower wages, work becomes relatively less attractive than leisure. He explains that the substitution effect of higher tax is that workers will simply want to work less. This leads to a serious economic issue known as debt weight loss. David Henderson from the Hoover Institution explains that this is a loss imposed on some that is not a gain to anyone else. Henderson points out that these ways exist because people try to avoid taxes by understating their income or overstating their expenses. So why do we have this complicated system in the first place? The cause of this problem stems from a specific moral aim. Wikipedia contributors explain that progressive taxes are imposed in an attempt to reduce the tax incidence on people with a lower ability to pay, thereby shifting the burden to those with a higher ability to pay. While this sounds noble, it creates a messy system. For example, Kagan highlights that the US progressive income tax involves 7 different tax brackets, each with its own rate for people of different income levels. With higher tax brackets, people naturally try to find ways to avoid high taxes to keep their revenue low. Fortunately, there is a practical solution to this complexity. The solution is to implement a flat tax. The Investopedia team defines a flat tax as a system that applies one single rate to all taxable income. But let's look deeper at why this works. Investopedia explains that unlike the progressive system, a flat tax imposes the same tax rate on all individuals, regardless of their income levels. As highlighted in the discussion on tax fairness by Investopedia, the core argument here is that every taxpayer is treated the same, removing the penalty for earning more. This system also changes how we treat growth. Investopedia notes that flat tax systems generally do not tax income from capital gains, dividends, or other investments. By removing taxes on these specific earnings, we stop punishing people for investing in companies and creating values. Finally, there is the massive benefit of simplicity. According to Investopedia, a flat tax promotes simplicity and eliminates the headaches of complex compliance for taxpayers. They point out that this simplicity is thought to encourage economic growth by providing a stable and predictable tax environment, rather than a chaotic one filled with loopholes. Now let's bring all these points together. In conclusion, a progressive tax system that targets high earners creates an unfair burden that penalizes productivity and success. By discouraging the very people who drive investment and job creation, we risk slowing down the entire economy. A fairer alternative is a system where hard work is rewarded, not punished. I urge you to look critically at the economic policies proposed by our leaders. Do not settle for the easy slogan of tax the rich. Instead, educate yourself on the benefits of a flat tax model and advocate for policies that incentivize growth rather than penalizing it. Remember Winston Churchill's warning: a nation cannot tax itself into prosperity any more than a man can lift himself up by the handle of a bucket. It is time we stop trying to lift the bucket and instead build a ladder of opportunity that everyone, regardless of income, is encouraged to climb. Thank you.